Vignesh, I have this opportunity to speak to multiple CXOs of enterprise as part of my consulting business, right? There are three areas of challenge that comes across most of the CXOs. Number one being teams spending too much of time in keeping up the systems in the lights on mode instead of turning into new ideas. Number two, tech debt compounding into strategic debt, which I thought was a very interesting observation. The third one being every year the gap between what is required and what is possible seems to widen. Now, one of the significant contributors to these three challenges seems to be the legacy systems, right? And these legacy systems are also the backbones of the enterprise, but there seems to be the invisible anchors which is pulling down the innovations of organizations. Now, what's your take on it?
You're absolutely correct, Senthil. So, legacy systems are both, it often carries both critical assets and innovation bottlenecks.
Right.
So, it's proven, resilient, and full of institutional knowledge. But over the time, what made them strong has also made them rigid.
Right.
We don't need a revolution to tackle this. Instead, we just need an evolution. Meaning modernization or replacement, progressive transformation, and hybrid thinking. Look, we don't need to replace the core.
Right.
We respect it and we retain it.
Right.
But we have to reimagine its role when it comes to what comes next. So we should be ready to tackle the future.
Right.
So by retaining the core, we just have to remodify or realign its role to drive further.
Vignesh, I like the way you said we don't need a revolution, but then we need evolution, right? Just to make sure all of us are on the same page, right? Both audience and ourselves, right?
Yeah.
What exactly is a legacy system?
Okay. The word legacy often gets misused. It's not about the age. It's about the adaptability and scalability.
Right.
A system cannot be able to cope up with the business growth, and it's facing the limitations of scalability and integration and adaptability. Then we call it as a legacy. Meaning, the system is in the past, but it's still serving. So there will be only maintenance required. Then that's a legacy.
Nice. I mean, thanks for clarifying that definition of legacy, because I tend to see there's a different definition, I hear when we talk about legacy systems. Let's stick on to, your definition for the sake of this discussion, right? And then move forward.
Yeah.
So having come to a common understanding on what legacy systems means, right? Now, let me get into your area of specialization, PowerBuilder. And for the benefit of our listeners, we understand PowerBuilder has been revolutionary during 1990s and early 2000s. And it's been incredible when it comes to build a data-driven application. And it also makes application development relatively easy. And that's precisely why it was called as a rapid application development tool. Is it fair to call PowerBuilder as a legacy technology?
Okay, you need binary answer?
No, I don't think I'll be happy with the binary answer, simply because you will have to justify that.
Yeah. It may have legacy roots, Senthil. But when a platform can scale, adapt, and integrate, it cannot be termed as a legacy. It is not holding up with the past, but it's about building on proven foundation.
Right.
So, which is what is exactly possible with PowerBuilder. Hence, it's not a legacy.
Right. So you tend to disagree that PowerBuilder is a legacy technology. All right.
Yeah.
Inference I'm able to make out of my discussion with enterprise or the stakeholders of enterprise is PowerBuilder is still perceived as a legacy system or a legacy technology. Now, I'll try to probe a little more based on various dimensions that is coming out, right? One of the dimensions which came out was user experience. So, to what extent do you think PowerBuilder has evolved to address this user experience issues?
That's a fair point, Senthil. Many see PowerBuilder from the old lens. I completely understand why. It's been around for a long time now, and it helped many enterprise applications to build business critical logics into it. And like you mentioned earlier, like it was being a rapid application development tool.
Right.
Hence, so often we miss to see what it has evolved, especially with the user experience. So like with PowerBuilder's modern UI capabilities like themes, ribbon bar controls, DPI awareness, autocomplete dropdown, and JavaScript chats, and much more. While these capabilities are introduced, how many of the enterprises have been already used or implemented in their application?
Right.
Using these controls, we can completely refresh the UI of the legacy application, which was built years ago.
Right.
And it can be visually engaging and responsive as well.
Nice. Which means you're saying, you made an interesting point where you said PowerBuilder is still seen with the older lens, right? Probably enterprises might have to change their lens when they're looking at some of these, applications like PowerBuilder is what you're saying, right? Because you just made a couple of points which seems to substantiate, right? It can live up to the user experience expectations of modern businesses.
Yeah, because while business is busily engaged to keep up their application up and running, meanwhile, the PowerBuilder capabilities also evolved. So we often miss to utilize those capabilities.
Wow, that's interesting.
So that's where the technical debt that is start growing.
Right.
So when the business critical team is actively working on the day-to-day engagements, someone has to sit and strategically plan, okay, how can we utilize these new capabilities and stabilize the application when it reaches the threshold limit.
Right.
So are we ready to scale this properly? So these things actually start creating the technical debt.
Very nice. You made a very pertinent point, Vignesh, because said despite having technical teams within the enterprise, I do realize that they are carried away with activities involved in running the business, right? But then changing the business is a critical part of a long-term vision for any business, for that matter, right? Now, so probably some of the organizations are missing out looking at the technology from the change the business angle. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes, because from business perspective, it is their application. But from the technology point of view, it is what's behind. What is the technology behind? Was it evolving?
Right.
Are we relevant? Are we utilizing it 100%? Or we just stay in the support? So that's the key, I would say, especially in the case of PowerBuilder.
Nice.
It's not just an application,
right?
But it's
right. I think that's where specialists like you or vendors like you would probably throw a light on how a perceived legacy application or legacy technology can be looked at as a technology that can serve the modern business era, right? Or modern business needs, for that matter. One of the points that comes up quite often when talking to technology leaders, right, is performance. Now, how can PowerBuilder deliver, or can PowerBuilder deliver, the speed and efficiency that modern businesses demand?
Yeah, that's a very clever question and a very important question, Senthil. Thank you for bringing up. Yes, PowerBuilder can deliver and can address performance-related issues, and it is still relevant. I'll explain why. So whenever there is a performance related issues, right? So we often, now maybe I'll just tell you the real time example. We do have the process called code scan. You know, when we run the code scan, it will generate a report and then give you strong areas and weak areas. So all the performance related issues will be reside in the weak areas. Maybe I'll explain in a little more detail. You will have a lot of reasons to have a performance issues.
Right.
There won't be just one single contributor, but there can be many.
Yeah.
So we just have to identify wherever the bottlenecks or the weak links are there, we have to fill everywhere. Like, for example, if a PowerBuilder application built 90% business logics within PowerBuilder itself,
Right.
then it is going to face the performance issue. Instead, so we just have to do, what we have to do is, we just have to take business logic out of PowerBuilder, meaning decoupling it from PowerBuilder, meaning to make PowerBuilder as a lightweight front end.
Got it.
Instead of holding it as a heavy business logic application. So okay, so where do we have to keep this? We can take it to database layer,
Right.
or we can expose it to API layer. Then we can create as a microservices.
Got
And
it.
that way it can be reused. So what you are doing is you are distributing equally or more towards the back end
Got it.
instead of keeping it as a front end.
Front end. Yeah.
So that's a step number one. In case if it's already taken care, then we have to see the other possibilities. For example, if a screen, in our recent examples also, we have seen a particular window is having 5 tab controls and more than 70 plus data windows in one single window.
Right.
Meaning it is very convenient for users and developers to expand within the single window, but it is not good for the performance. So over the time, all the data windows will be retrieved at the same time. There won't be any retrieve as needed option enabled. So we have to modularize the larger screens into small screens without affecting the business navigation. So what are all the things that we have discussed? Decouple the business logic from PowerBuilder,
Right.
and expose it to API and database layer, and then modularize larger screen into small pieces without affecting the business. So that decision has to come from the business and technical suggestions as well. So both team has to work closely and then make it done. And apart from that, since we have SQLs at the database data window level, right? So there have been a lot of critical SQLs have been written. So you have to simplify it, or you have to create a store procedure and then take it to database side, and then from data window you just have to call the store procedure. In that case, from database DB layer radar, it will be monitored in case if it is take a lot of time. So and you have to reduce embedded SQL frequency in the PowerBuilder's side.
Right.
So you have these many contributors when we talk about performance issues. While we are talking about these many contributors, we also have a solution for it. So like I mentioned initially, through code scan process, all these things will be created as a report.
Right.
So in case if you use any external APIs and DLLs, and what are all the heavy screens, in case if that's a frequently used screen and it is larger, then we have to fix it. So it is not about the technology, Senthil, it is about how we handled. For example, if an application grown over 20 years plus, just think how many developers would have been contributed in the coding perspective. How many coding standards have been deviated.
Got it.
And how many dead codes have been retained. So it is, instead of calling it as a performance tuning, we call it as an application standardization, where we just take one screen at a time and then go through in depth, and then see wherever the possible have inheritance been used properly, any repeatable codes are there, how validations been measured, how exception handling was written. So all these things can contribute. When maybe when you look at a single screen, it may look small,
Right.
but when you see as a larger application, there will be a lot.
And you mentioned about something called code scan.
Yeah.
Right. Now, is that proprietary tool developed by your organization with, I think, is OptiSol, or it comes along with PowerBuilder?
No, it does not comes along with PowerBuilder. While we can do it manually, but we have created our own. So can be done either way, but we have a tool for that.
Nice.
So which will reduce so much of manual efforts, and even a junior developer can run this and then take the report.
Fine.
And architect can review and then direct them in the right way. Okay, these are all the areas that needs to be corrected. And then we'll prepare a document based on that, not just a report.
Right.
The report can be technically reviewed, not for the business. So we have, out of the report, we'll create a business suggestion document, and then we'll tell the business, okay, these are all the technical weak links we have, and why do we need to correct it?
Got it.
Are those modules are critically used modules, frequently used modules? If so, then what are all our suggestions? So while we spend our time on solution, we don't want to spend most of the time on the diagnosis. So
Got it, yeah.
we have a tool for that, and that takes care of that part.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, because especially with this statement of tech debt,
Yeah.
Compounding to strategic debt, I think this kind of tools will expedite in finding those tech debts and addressing that, right?
Yes.
All right. Scalability has been the next big ask,
Yeah.
right? It's quite natural that load increases and a demand for different deployment model, becomes inevitable as the business grows or expands. Can PowerBuilder sustain?
Yes. For sure now. Because we have crossed many evolutions from client-server application to web, Senthil. So even APN tried from client-server to web application and then mobile application. And right now, it reached a stage where it can convert into a cloud application. So right now, we have PowerServer. We don't have to rewrite completely for the cloud or a major code change required. No. With PowerServer, with minimal changes, we can convert client-server application into a cloud-based application.
All right.
So this is quite a possible right now, and we have migrated a couple of our clients' application into cloud now. It is running fairly good compared to client-server application.
All right.
With PowerServer, it's a high possible thing right now, Senthil. And also, we are recommending to most of our customers because it is very cost efficient compared to Citrix or any virtualizing tools or platforms. Because cloud cost is much cheaper than the Citrix cost. And recently we have discovered one more limitations because they does not have the cloud ready application. There was a client, and they are using client server application that deployed into Citrix. When there is a performance issue, we couldn't able to catch during the test environment, during the test phase or UAT.
Right.
We couldn't able to use testing tools called JMeter, Load Runner, or any such tools in desktop application. They are very much supporting web application or cloud application, not the desktop application. And if that particular client server application deployed into Citrix, that adds even more complexity.
Right.
So to achieve 50 to 60% test coverage, they have to use multiple tools. Still, it is 60% and lesser than that. So we suggested instead of having it as a desktop application, let us move to cloud. Meaning, once it is becoming a cloud application, instantly it is very good for testing perspective. Because with one single tool, we can cover 100%. For example, I'll just go a little more detail, Senthil. For example, this customer has 4,000 concurrent users at live. But during the testing, right, test environment or UAT, we are logging only 10 to 15 testers.
So the actual,
Because we don't have tools to virtually recreate those users or simulate those users. So right now, once it is becoming a cloud application, all these things are possible.
Correct.
If you have any performance bottlenecks, we'll be able to figure out during the testing. We don't have to wait for till the production. So when we talk about scalability, it is not just a scalability. If we migrate our application from client server to cloud, there are a lot of these advantages also come along with it.
Revenues opens up, right?
Yeah. And now I'll just tell you that because of this very reason, we are not legacy. We have a lot of window to open and a lot of capabilities to enable. So once you're completely enabled, then you're up to date.
Nice. So to our audience, what we have seen so far is PowerBuilder being labeled as legacy technology to PowerBuilder proving it can scale, perform, and sustain. Now, what's going on next in terms of aligning towards the modern enterprise is something which we'll have to wait and watch. Stay tuned for next episode, which is just not an update, but a reinvention.